a wealthy attorney, vanished.
He's got a beautiful wife, things are going his way, then suddenly he just disappears.
A web of lies in his wake.
There were all these different scenarios.
When pieces start not fitting into the puzzle, it starts raising questions.
I'm not staying in here, you understand me?
A life of privilege, a dark secret, and a strange investigation that no one will ever forget.
Come on, Larry, pick up the phone.
Hey, Larry, this is Pat down at Stables. Hey, we missed you today at the competition. Can you please let us know if you're competing tomorrow or not? Please give us a call. Take care, Larry.
A man disappears from a horse show in California. Detectives Mickey Lynx and Bob Buckwalter head to the stables to search for 52-year-old Larry McNabney.
There's a lot of money involved in this sport.
Absolutely. I mean, these horses and going to the shows.
Not a poor man's entertainment either.
No. I mean, he made a lot of money.
Spent a lot of money.
Spent a lot of money, absolutely.
McNabney is a high-powered Sacramento attorney. He's well known on the horse show circuit.
Wasn't this some type of finals that they were at down at City of Industry?
They were in the middle of trying to qualify for the finals.
He was Rookie of the Year last year.
He's missing, and he competed the day before.
Something's not right.
I think you did a good job, though. I think you probably got your points to qualify this year. Great, great.
Larry McNabney wants to have the best in life, the best things. He wants to be the best attorney, the best horse rider. His wife, Elisa, is very attractive. They own cars and homes and horses.
Tonight for the
We need to work in any way
We got to get it all done. Yes.
The first thing when you have a missing person case is to determine the classification of the missing person. You have to go back into the life of the missing person. Because with an adult, if they're simply gone on their own accord, we really can't search for them. They have a right to be missing if they choose. But if they are endangered, we have to find other reasons for them being gone.
Although it seemed that Elisa and Larry McNabney had a perfect life, there always seemed to be some kind of a strain now and then going on with their relationship.
Come on, Larry, pick up the phone.
So Elisa was telling that they had a disagreement, that they hadn't been getting along.
Elisa says Larry McNabney disappeared from the hotel. Everybody else saw him the night before, everything was fine. The next day, she says he disappeared.
Do you have any messages from my husband, Larry?
According to Elisa McNabney, this isn't the first time her unpredictable husband has taken off without a word. It's time to switch gears from the stables to the hotel.
When you have a location that you believe the missing person was last seen, you want to check that location. You want to make sure there's not signs of a struggle, signs of a crime, blood, other body fluids that might have been left there. Anything that would indicate that a crime might have occurred in that room.
The McNabney's hotel room is searched from wall to wall. But nothing turns up.
We didn't find anything unusual. There was no blood, no signs of struggle. I mean, everything appeared to be normal.
When you don't have physical evidence to tell the story of this missing person, you have to find it another way. The workplace interviews are important. They may tell a story of conflict. They may tell the story of success or failure that that person had in that business.
I spoke with a client of Larry McNabney's who said she was having trouble getting her insurance settlement check from his law firm. Larry and Elisa McNabney were not acting like people that had financial problems. So I went out to the law offices of McNabney and Associates to investigate that.
Friends and colleagues painted a picture of literally a roller coaster ride. That he spent very little time in the office and was missing court appearances and things of that nature.
Mr. McNabney.
What?
He could be very personable, and at other times we've heard him described as being very belligerent as well.
Tell her I'm not in.
I know, but...
We found out that the law firm owed several clients money,
I really need
and we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
The more we got into the investigation, we discovered there was a much darker side to Larry McNabney than what the public appearance was.
Along with his moodiness and substance abuse, and also information that we received that at some point in his life he had gone away and lived in a cult for a while, there were all these different scenarios of what could have happened to Larry McNabney.
Weeks go by. The case goes cold. If McNabney staged his disappearance, he's done a great job. Looks like Larry's on the run, but his son doesn't buy it.
Hi, Joe McNabney?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Lisa.
He's got his own theory about his father's disappearance.
I'm not staying in here, you understand me?
McNabney's past may have come back to haunt him.
Tell me about your dad's background. I know he's a lawyer.
Yeah, he was a high-priced defense attorney in Reno.
The criminal cases that Larry McNabney took on were very high-profile. Murder cases, narcotics cases, dealing with lots of narcotics and a lot of money. Certainly very shady people, and not people that you would want to have as neighbors. So it certainly opened up another avenue to research on whether or not Larry's past clients could be involved in him being missing.
I'm not staying in here, you understand me? You get me out of here, get me out of here now! You understand me? Now!
In the past, there have been cases where defendants have gotten out of jail or prison and come back and taken revenge out on their defense attorney.
As an investigator, you need to take a look at who he may have represented. Maybe someone was not happy with his representation. And at the time of his disappearance, were they still in jail or were they out?
McNabney's wife should know if Larry had any bad blood with an old client. But there's no answer.
I thought I'd better go out to Elisa and Larry's home and in person and check to see if anybody was there. Union 416, I'm en route out to the McNabney location to attempt contact there. When I arrived at the house, I found that it appeared to be abandoned. There was no furniture in the house, the lights were off, and it appeared that the McNabneys had moved out. Hi, I'm investigating the disappearance of Larry McNabney. He was a neighbor of yours. We spoke with several neighbors of the McNabneys. We were able to talk with a lady who told me that in the middle of the night she had seen a moving truck, and the next day the McNabney house was vacant. She said it was like they moved out in the middle of the night. With what we had learned so far in the investigation, it raised more questions than answers. I didn't think it was a coincidence that both Elisa and Larry McNabney were missing.
If two people are now missing, a husband and a wife, that really complicates the investigation. Investigators must work twice as hard now. Did they both run away together? Is one responsible for the other's disappearance? Did one disappear and now is meeting up with the other?
I thought I'd better go to Larry McNabney's law office and investigate, see if there were any problems there at the law firm.
But instead of finding clues to the missing couple's whereabouts, they get another curveball.
When I got to the law firm, I found that it was empty. There was an eviction notice on the door, and it appeared that the law firm had moved. There was minimal amount of office furniture left, and it appeared there were no files and certainly nobody working.
Someone with extreme debt, that may be an indicator that something is wrong. They may have been running away from that debt and may have staged their own disappearance to get a fresh start. People who are running away from financial problems, they need to get cash quickly before they disappear.
Our investigation into the financial aspects of Larry McNabney's life showed that his bank accounts were depleted. Basically, the money was gone, clients hadn't been paid, and I wasn't sure if they had both been embezzling money and took off. I thought it was possible that Larry and Elisa McNabney were together and trying to avoid law enforcement.
But just when it looks like the couple could be hiding out together, there's an eerie new development.
Got a call from the sergeant that we have a body buried in a vineyard.
So now this could be a murder case. But who's buried in that winery, Larry or Elisa? Not long after the search for Larry and Elisa McNabney goes cold, a body turns up in a Sacramento vineyard.
Depo dispatch 313. There is a farm labor camp that's near a vineyard. A couple of the gentlemen that lived there saw vultures circling. Usually where there's vultures circling, there's something dead. When they got to the location where the vultures were circling, they saw what appeared to be the leg of a human body protruding from a shallow grave. As we cleared the ground around the shallow grave where the body was buried, we were searching for any type of evidence related to the burial or who is in this shallow grave.
Apparently somebody tried to bury this person.
I was standing next to the grave along with Sergeant Herrera. As they brushed the dirt away from the upper body and face, we could see is about a 50-year-old white male, and there was distinctive ceremonial band tattoo around the right bicep.
You saw the photographs of his tattoo. Does that look anything like that?
That tattoo is the same band that he had on that right bicep.
Well, it's a good probability.
Joey and I looked at each other and just said that we've just found Larry McNabney.
But who put him there? And how'd they do it?
When you have a body with no apparent signs of trauma, no obvious signs that someone was shot or stabbed or beaten, then you look to the autopsy to tell you the pieces that you don't know. The autopsy and the toxicology reports perhaps can fill in those missing blanks to give you the answers that you really need. Find out what in that body can tell the story of how that person died.
During the autopsy, samples of tissues and blood were taken from the victim, from Larry McNabney, and forensics were done on that.
The toxicology results are an eye-opener.
The test revealed that Larry McNabney had a very high dose of horse tranquilizer in his system, and apparently that was the cause of his death.
The dosages that were in Larry McNabney's body were 5 times what has previously been documented as a lethal dose to a human being.
The killer's got to be someone with access to horse tranquilizers. It's time to go back to the stables to get some answers.
I'll tell you who's tight. Larry's tight. Oh, he's on my last nerve.
We spoke with one of the trainers that the McNabneys used when they were showing their horses.
You think that would knock Larry off his feet?
Oh, you shouldn't even joke about that. That stuff's designed for a 1,000-pound animal.
She recalled a conversation where McNabney's wife asked her about horse tranquilizers and if a horse tranquilizer would actually kill a person. And she hadn't really thought much about it at the time, but certainly now with Larry McNabney being dead, she was very concerned about that comment. Knowing that a lot of things are pointing to his wife, we sent out everybody looking for her.
But there's a major setback.
We could not find any information about Elisa McNabney. It was almost like she didn't exist. The fact that there was no documentation, we began suspecting that maybe that wasn't her name. Maybe that's not who she was. She had done everything to avoid having any contact with an agency that would document who she was and take a photograph of her.
I said no!
When people don't want to be caught, or they don't want to be found and discovered, it's likely that they could change their identity. Losing a lot of weight could change the structure of the face. Changing the color and style of the hair would all perhaps lead people not to believe that this was the person they were looking for.
According to witnesses, Elisa seemed to be trying a new look. She had changed her hair color and lost weight just before she disappeared.
We were trying to dig more into finding out who she was, just based on the fact that she had no record under this name, Elisa McNabney.
Elisa McNabney went on the run and began changing her physical appearance.
So we took some steps to investigate even further to see if maybe she had some other names that we weren't aware of. We were able to obtain a marriage certificate from Reno, Nevada, and found out that Elisa McNabney's maiden name was Elizabeth Barash. With the help of the Florida authorities and the FBI, we ran a record check and found that Elizabeth Barash had a criminal record from Florida. At this time, we had a booking photo sent to us of Elizabeth Barash, and surprisingly, when we got it, the photograph of Barash did not match the photograph of Elisa McNabney. They were two different people.
So who is Elisa McNabney? Unless someone finds out soon, this suspected killer could be gone forever. On the trail of Elisa McNabney, the real Elizabeth Barash comes forward with some startling information.
Elizabeth Barash told us that she recognized the woman in the photo that we knew to be Elisa McNabney as a lady named Lauren, that she had done prison time with in Florida. Elisa McNabney was really Lauren Jordan. She was changing her name, she was traveling under aliases and running from law enforcement. At this time, I'm certain that Jordan knew she was wanted for Larry McNabney's murder.
The clock's ticking, and with enough time, their prime suspect could easily slip out of the country.
The warrant had been sent across the United States.
And then an anonymous tip comes in.
The Florida authorities had some information about the general area where Lauren Sims Jordan might be in Florida.
The noose is tightening on Lauren Jordan. There's nowhere else to run.
Lauren Sims Jordan was located in Florida by local police, and she gave up peacefully. She was standing by the water looking out at the ocean, and they took her into custody.
Under questioning, Jordan quickly confesses to Larry's murder.
Elisa McNabney began poisoning her husband with a horse tranquilizer through a glass of wine at dinner. That next morning, he was found dead on the floor.
How deep a hole did you dig?
Jordan admits that her motive was money.
I think we're all safer, especially men who she preyed upon to use and manipulate to get what she wanted. And when things weren't going her way, she did the ultimate crime so that she could move on and do what she wanted to do. I mean, I know they joke about the Black Widow, but that's certainly what she was.
The case is solved, but before Jordan can be brought to justice for her crime, she kills herself in prison just days after her arrest.
This was not your ordinary missing persons case. It was not your ordinary homicide. In many cases like this, it's often a crime of passion. There's a lot of emotion involved. This wasn't the case. She planned and she schemed till she got what she wanted. The important thing is that Lauren Sims Jordan will never hurt anyone again.